The real problem, birth, death, old age and disease, there is no discovery. That I was talking. They discover something by which there will be no disease. You are discovering very nice medicine. The drug shop is full with various types of up-to-date medicines. But none of the medicine is sufficient to make a man not to die. That is not possible. Or not to become disease. That is not possible. So this advancement of civilization, material civilization, without God, is like that. That is stated in the Vedic literature that bhagavad-bhakti-hīnasya jātiḥ japas kriya aprāṇasya dehasya maṇḍanaṁ loka-rañjanam. Jati, big nation, big achievement, japas kriya, big activities. Just like you American people, you are big nation, your activities are very big considered in other parts of the world. And your tapasya is there, you have earned this, you have made this America so nice. By tapasya, by austerity, it has not come out automatically. You have labored hard, that is called tapasya. So, this big nationality, jati, japas, tapa, these hard work, scientific discoveries, they are very nice. But what kind of popularity it is? Bhagavad-bhakti-hīnasya jātiḥ japas kriya. All these are simply decoration of the dead body. I do not know whether in your country it is a fashion. In India there is a custom. The low class man, just like cobbler. Cobbler is taken as those who prepare, expert in skin. So they are generally very poor men. Now they have advanced because now the Kali Yuga is the age of the Shudras. So they decorate the dead body. If a cobbler's father dies, he spends money, he brings nice covering, cloth, and with flower and everything. So the Shastra says that bhagavad-bhakti-hīnasya jātiḥ japas kriya aprāṇasya dehasya maṇḍanaṁ loka-rañjanam. If you decorate a dead body, it may be very fanciful to the people. This dead body is decorated with costly garments and flowers and everything. So, but the dead body is dead. It is not enjoying. You can be complacent that my father, the body of my father or my relative is decorated so nicely. But actually, if you study, scrutinizing, what is the benefit out of this? What is the benefit? Dead body decoration. But people do that. They are accustomed to do that. So, similarly, this body is dead, that's a fact. It is dead from the very beginning because it is matter. Matter is always dead. So this body made of matter, bhumi rapa analo vayu, earth, water, fire, air, this external body is dead, but it is living on account of that small spark of spirit. That is the real main thing. That we understand from Bhagavad. Dehina svinjatha dehi. Dehina, the small spark, spiritual spark, he is within this body. This is the first understanding of spiritual knowledge. He must know. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. When Bhagavad Gita was taught to Arjuna, Arjuna was lamenting for this body. So Krishna, when he was accepted, Arjuna's spiritual master, śāstraṁ sādhimāṁ prapanna, then he advised him that you are talking like a very learned scholar. Asacchānusucastaṁ prajñāvādaṁscha bhāsase. You are talking just like you know, just like our so-called scientists, they speak, as if they know everything. But real thing they do not know. That is zero. What is spirit? They do not know. They are thinking this body. And according to Vedic knowledge, if one is misguided on the bodily identification of ourself, he is animal. He is animal. He may be PhD, dehasya or something, but he is animal. Sayeva go-khara, because he does not know how the body is moving, and neither they can discover anything. When the body is dead, it is dead from the very beginning, but it was moving. Just like so long petrol is there, the motor car moves. But as soon as there is crisis, how their motor cars will move. They are conscious. Why they are crisis? Because the petrol is the life of the movement of the motor car. Similarly, that spiritual spark or spirit soul is the petrol of this body. So, without knowledge of this, Sayeva go-khara, just like cats and dogs, they cannot understand how he is moving. That he does not know. A human being also does not understand that how this body is moving. Neither they can discover what it is. Then what is it? It may be a very so-called decoration of the body, a decoration of the dead body. What is the profit thereof? If you do not know what is the real living force within this body, then if you simply decorate the body, dead body, the loka-rañjanam, you may get some applause from ordinary man, but it has no value. It has no value. So you can expand in so many ways. Isharikta. Isharikta means without God. Without God. Isharikta. So, we living entities, we are also part and parcel of God. And because we living entity, part and parcel of God, is within this body, therefore the body is so beautiful, so big scientists, philosophers, or politicians, and you can say anything. But without that soul, this body is useless, dead body, and you can give all titles, PhD, dehasya, they are all useless. Suppose a man is dead, and from Oxford University somebody comes, now I give you PhD title. What is the use? Suppose a beautiful woman attracted so many people. Now when she is dead, if she is offered, now you can take this body, you can use it as well. Nobody will like it. Why? The same beautiful, lying on the, why don't you take it? Now, you are after her, so many. No, it is nobody useful. Nobody useful. Everyone knows it. There is a story that one beautiful woman was hunted by another man. So he was canvassing her, but she was chaste lady. But she did not agree. But that man was after her. So she one day said, all right, you come to me 3 days after, I'll accept you. So on the third day, he took purgative, very strong purgative, and passed stools whole day and night. And he kept all the stools and vomit and everything, kept in a very good reservoir. Then third day when the man came, she was sitting and he was asking, where is that woman? No, I am the same woman. You don't recognize me? No, you are so beautiful and so you are ugly. No, I am the same. You do not know. How you look so ugly? Because I have separated my beauty. You have separated your beauty? Yes, I will show you. Come here. Come here. The stool and the vomit and all stop for you to show you. Actually, it is very knowledge, very good knowledge. Shankaracharya says, idam rakta mamsa vikaram. He is teaching renouncement that why you are attracted with this beautiful. What is this beauty? It is a combination of stool, urine and flesh and bone. That's all. So he thought, here is my beauty. Now you add it with me, then again I shall be beautiful. These are actually knowledge. People are after something false. That is called Maya. Maya means which is not actually fact, but we are after them. Similarly, the so-called advancement of civilization is Maya. It will be finished in any second, but they do not know. They do not. It will be finished in any second. Even though you accept it all right, Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gita, Mrityu sarva arasya ham. I am the death and I take away everything at the time of death. Either you take as a philosopher, scientist or rich man, capitalist. As soon as there is death, just like you see Hiranyakashipu, he was very powerful. And as soon as Nrsimhadev appeared, everything finished. Now he is dying. You see. So people do not understand it. That without Krishna, without God, without Krishna consciousness, simply we are wasting our time. That's all. After false thing. Everything will be useless. Today or tomorrow or day after. It will be useless. All useless. Real spirit soul, na hannate hannamane sarire, that we do not take care. After finishing this false body, which will exist, the spirit soul, na hannate hannamane sarire, which is never vanquished even after the annihilation of this body, we are not taking care of that. Where from it has come? People are ignorant, so foolish, they do not know. This is the civilization of ignorance. Namang duskitunam mudha, they do not know, therefore. In ignorance they are committing so many sinful lives for the satisfaction of the tongue. They are killing so many animals. Why? There are so many nice food stuff. Why you are committing these sinful activities? They do not know what is sinful activities or pious activity. Even they do not know. That is stated in the Bhagavata. Na vidu asurajana, pravittincha nivittincha, na vidu asurajana. Pravitting means we have got some inclination to accept something and we have disinclination to reject something. Everyone knows it. But the Asurik Jana, those who are Asuras, demands, they do not know in which way we shall accept and in which way we shall reject. That they do not know. That is called Asura. Just like we are advising our students, reject this. No illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling, no meeting. Reject. And accept, chant Hare Krishna. These demands, they do not know it. They do not know it. They do not know why they are rejecting this and why they are accepting this. Na vidu asura jana. Because they are asuras. If we accept this path, then we are going to be liberated. What is that liberation? Liberation means to get out of this material bondage of body. dehinasmi. Takta dehang punarjanmanaiti mameti. This knowledge is wanting. There are so many universities, educational institutions, big professors, scientists, all rascals. All as we declare. Let them come and argue with us. All rascals. So, therefore it is said, harama bhaktasya kuto mahatguna. Here is practical example Arjuna is giving. That I have got the same arrow, I have got the same bow, I have got the same chariot, my same horses, but everything. I am the same Arjuna who was being honored by so many kings. Oh, Arjuna is such a great warrior. And nobody cares for you. This is the example. Here he says, Sohang rathi nipatayu jatuanavanti. I am the same Arjuna, great fighter. People were offering their obeisances to me. Oh, Arjuna, you are a great friend of Krishna, you are a great warrior. Now nobody cares. How it has vanquished. The example is this, just like to pour butter in the ashes. And this example is because in sacrifice, the butter is poured into the fire. If it is poured into the fire, then the butter increases the strength of the fire. But if it is put into the ashes, where there is no fire, then it is useless, waste. And similarly, if you sow the seed in the Arabian desert to get some nice rose flower, the seed is all right, rose seed. But you have to sow it in a proper place, not in the Arabian desert. Therefore, your knowledge, university, advanced civilization will be perfect when it is properly carried with God consciousness. Otherwise, it is all useless. It is all useless, not. You try to understand this and spread this knowledge. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Don't be misled by the so-called leaders. Harava bhakti, andha jathandhi rupaniyamana, stepi satantra urudami badhya, nate vidu śāstram hi Vishnu, durasayaji bahirattamani. The modern civilization, they are so rascals, they are expecting something utopian, that by material advancement of civilization, they will be happy. Now one gentleman, that doctor, what is his name? He is present here? Yes. He said that in Sweden, they are the richest man, but the largest number of suicide cases are there. So this kind of material richness will not help you. That will not help. Actually, practically we are experiencing why every nation is dissatisfied. Although they are material advanced so much, but dissatisfied. In your country also, why this section of people have become hippies? From university students, they have become hippies. Why? Frustration. They know that what is this life? If I am become educated, what is my future? There is no future. Frustrated. This kind of civilization will not help. Rama bhaktasya kuto. Therefore they do not know what is the actual aim of life. Nati vidu śāstram Vishnu. These rascals, they do not know what should be the aim of life. The aim of life is God realization. God realization that there is God, His name is Krishna, whose address is Vaikuntha, his number is this, he has got so many friends, he has got so many lovers, everything we are giving, but still the rascal will not take. We are giving the name, address, activities, everything. You come, go there. But no, they will not do that. This is called misfortune. He is coming himself, canvassing, sarvadharman parityajya, but still they are researching God. God is canvassing and they are researching God. Somebody is a failure, there is no God. Somebody says God is dead, he is finished, now we are God. these things are going on. Why? Because nati vidu sarthakate Vishnu durasa. Their real fault is that they are trying to become happy in this material existence. That is their fault. In Delhi, when I presented in some library my book, Easy Journey to Other Planet. So one gentleman is, who is it? You have got written some book, Easy Journey to Other Planet? Yes. Then we shall go and come back. No, why you should come back? No, then I don't want. The rascal wants to go to other planet and come back. They are doing actually. They are going to the so-called moon planet and coming back. The first aeronautics from Russia, when he was far, far away, he was just looking after, where is my Moscow? Where is my Moscow? You see, this is our intelligence. You may go far away. There is an example, just like the vultures. They have got a very good eyesight. Very good eyesight. You 7 miles away from the surface, they can see where there is a dead corpse. So they have got good eyesight, but they are searching after dead corpse only. That is their business. These so-called scientists, philosophers, they are very much advanced, but their only business is how to become happy in this planet. That's all. That is it. Not Mahatma, Duratma. Their mind is not very broad, very clear. What is called? What is the English word? Crippled. Mind is very crippled. Durasaya. Therefore they are hoping against. They will not live here. Still they are decorating. Decorating the dead body. This is my apartment, this is my house, this is my country, this is my skyscraper building. Painting. And one day, Mrityu Sarva, just like Hiranyakashipu. You challenging. Where is your God? Here is God. Come on. Finish. Here is God. So God will appear. Don't forget that you will be godless. You will see God. Death. And at that time, after seeing, you will be finished. No more understanding. That is Krishna says. Mrityu sarva harastam. And will be taken away everything, all your possessions, all your scientific knowledge, bank balance, skyscraper, everything will be taken away. Then you will understand what is God. Like Hiranyakashipu. No, why don't you try to understand before that moment comes? And live so very nicely. Chant Hare Krishna and Sri Radha Krishna Diti and eat nicely, live nicely. No, that is not possible. We shall see at the time of death. Well, everything will be finished. All intelligence, all good food, everything will be finished. Therefore in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Krishna je bhaje sevaro chotu. Unless one is first class intelligent, he cannot take to Krishna consciousness. The last class, fools and rogues, they cannot take to Krishna consciousness. So by the grace of Krishna, you have first class intelligence. Those who have taken to Krishna consciousness, now try to continue it. Don't give it up. Don't be foolish, mura. Continue. Then you will be happy and all problems of life will be solved. Thank you very much.
And that's like kind of etched in my mind, that wonderful memory of just seeing his effulgent feet and then, kind of working my way up from the feet up to his golden smile.
During kirtan, Prabhupada was so enthusiastic and always encouraging the person who was leading. He would be looking around the room, and I myself personally, I was feeling like I could touch the ceiling. I'd be jumping as high as I could, and I just felt like there was no bounds. And I was also, I think, feeling that we were all kind of like little puppies jumping up and down in great joy, happiness, seeing our spiritual master. So Prabhupada was always encouraging, looking around, and he'd be with his gong, he would take the hammer and he would be gesturing, waving it up and down for everybody to dance. Prabhupada also, he had such perception. Sometimes in my mind, I'd be thinking, I was young. Oh, I wish Prabhupada would look over here. I wish he would look at me. All of a sudden, Prabhupada would be looking directly at me, piercing me with his eyes, and I felt very foolish. But Prabhupada always fulfilled your desires that way. So it was always a special experience every day for months, being able to have that mercy of dancing in front of Prabhupada. And then, of course, during Jaya Radha Madhava, Prabhupada himself would be so absorbed sometimes he would stop being choked up. And I remember how Prabhupada would talk. He would say, actually, I'm just a kirtan man.
One time we were on the beach walking like this and crabs were going out, and the crabs were running into the water as it was coming in. So Prabhupada indicated that they had a relationship. And he was explaining that a big elephant cannot go against the waves of the sea, even though he's so strong. But a little fish can swim out against the waves, and the reason is because the fish has an intimate relationship with the sea. So in the same way, a devotee, he can surpass all others because of his intimate relationship with Krishna. He can do things that non-devotees cannot accomplish.
In Los Angeles, I would take Prabhupada out for his morning walk. And one day he would go to Venice Beach, and one day he would go to Cheviot Hills Park, a big beautiful park with a golf course. And one day he would go to the very wealthy part of Beverly Hills. And there was one house that had plate glass windows in the front, and every time he would walk by that house, a big German shepherd would come up and bark at the window. So this one day we're walking by that house, and the person in the house opened the front door and let the dog out. And the dog came running across the front yard towards Prabhupada and me. And I thought I was going to die in protection of my spiritual master. So I turned around and faced the dog, and Prabhupada had paid almost no attention. He had just kept walking. He was 10 or 15 steps ahead of me. So I turned around and ran to catch up, and the dog started chasing along the grass, never came onto the sidewalk. And as I got close to Prabhupada, he just turned around and took a wide stance and picked his cane up over his head, and just one hut, and the dog was just shot back to the house. And he said, if you say hut to an animal, they'll respect you. And take a stick. He said, if you take a stick and say hut, they'll respect. So later on we were in Jaipur, and they had given Prabhupada a room in the palace, the Jaipur palace. And one of the big monkeys, the langurs, had torn the door off the kitchen and eaten all the bhoga. So they replaced the door, and I was in Prabhupada's room on a day that just happened to be filled with a lot of people, including influential Indian guests. And we kept a stick inside the back door. All of a sudden there's a noise outside. You can hear this door rattling. And I look out the screen, and there's a monkey trying to take the door off the kitchen. So I picked up the stick, remembering the dog, remembering Prabhupada's example, and went out and got 6 feet or 8 feet away from the monkey. And as he heard me come, he turned around and stood up. And as he stood up, I lifted the stick up and went, hut! And he looked at me, and he puffed his chest up, and he bared his teeth, and he growled, and he started walking towards me. And I ran. I turned around and ran back in Prabhupada's room. And he and all of his guests just broke out laughing. He said, you do not know the process. And then he laughed more. He said, if you had said hut again, he was testing you. If you had done it twice, he would have backed away.
A couple of days a week you were at the incense factory. A couple of days you were on Sankirtan. And, and then between that and cooking offerings and and distributing books as well. It was just like you were running all the time. There was a schedule all the time. There was always something to do. Your life was full of Krishna, of service, you know. But I think one of the biggest joys for me was the sense of community, the sense that you had Prabhupada at the center, that you were all working for a common goal. You were all spiritual pilgrims, really, on a path together, sharing prasadam together, and, you know, and multitasking. It was exciting. It was really, really exciting. The kirtans, I remember, you know, you'd run home and, you know, after your thing, you'd take a shower and then you'd run to Aarti. And then you'd dance your heart out, you know, and sing and dance your heart out. And then there'd be a class and you'd do garlands or something to stay awake, you know. And then you'd put the deities to sleep, and then you'd get everything ready for the morning, and then you'd get your few hours, and the next day would come, and you'd be, you know, you have your deity worship, or you're cooking your offerings, and life was so full. And we had so much energy then too, and we were, you know, we were totally focused on doing what we were doing. And so there was this big temple, which was the biggest temple when I joined in ISKCON. I think there were 75 devotees there then, and that was like massive. And New Dwarka was the hub of book publishing. The BBT headquarters was in New Dwarka. And Prabhupada said, you know, print books was like one of the core services of the ISKCON movement. And here in New Dwarka, it was, you know, opulent temple, beautiful deities, but it was a very effervescent community, very sparkly, and it was driven by our desire to please Srila Prabhupada. And I think when Prabhupada came, it was like God was coming. Krishna was himself coming, and all the stops were pulled out. And, you know, we were up for days and nights just making sure that everything was really done to as paka as possible. And I think in some way Prabhupada, when he came, he just, you know, appreciated our enthusiasm and our dedication. And it was an absolutely rich experience. And, you know, I'm very thankful I had all those years.
Somebody coming to the Sunday Feast program in Los Angeles owned a 16mm camera and was a film student, and apparently approached Karandar about filming Srila Prabhupada. So I think it was Karandar's idea to have Prabhupada give Bhagavad Gita classes. So this was a staged situation. The idea was to film Prabhupada speaking Bhagavad Gita, which would be applicable for the people in general, and have something for television.
I shall speak on Bhagavad-Gita as it is. The purpose of saying Bhagavad-Gita as it is explained that there are many editions of Bhagavad-Gita. They are interpreted in their own way, giving up the spirit of Bhagavad-Gita. So this particular name, as it is, significant. Perhaps there is no other edition of Bhagavad-Gita where it is written as it is. In this connection, Professor Dimmock of Chicago University has written a foreword, and he very much appreciates the theme. He says, Swami Bhaktivedanta comments upon the Gita from this point of view, and that is legitimate. She accepts that Bhagavad-Gita as it is legitimate presentation of the great book of knowledge. And he also says, more than that, in this translation, the Western reader has the unique opportunity of seeing how a Krishna devotee interprets his own text. So, about Krishna, the devotees actually can interpret about Krishna book. Others, if they are not devotee, how they can interpret on Krishna? Just like a member of a family can say very nicely about the head of the family, how outsiders can say about the family. That is not possible. Similarly, about Krishna, a Krishna devotee can speak nicely, not others. Others have no right to speak about Krishna. And Krishna also admits Arjuna as the right student of Bhagavad-Gita. In the beginning, Krishna says that I have selected you as my student because you are my friend and you are my devotee. So, in other words, we can understand that Bhagavad-Gita can be understood who has intimate relationship with Krishna. Just as Krishna says, you are my dear friend. That is intimate relationship with Krishna. And without becoming a devotee, nobody can be intimately related with Krishna. These are the factors to be understood. So, this Bhagavad-Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago to Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the science of understanding God is there in this Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita is the science of God. Everything has got some science, scientific book to understand that particular subject matter. Similarly, there are different types of concept of God. Generally, they take it as an idea, but we don't take it as idea. We take God as concrete fact. Just like you are seeing me, I am seeing you. This is concrete fact. Similarly, a God can be seen by you and God is already seeing you. There is no doubt about it. But you can see also God. So that process we have to understand, how to see God. That process is mentioned in all the Vedic scripture. That is called bhakti yoga, that process. Krishna also says in the Bhagavad-Gita, bhaktya-mam abhijanati javan jasyami tata. If anyone wants to know Krishna, what he is, then one has to accept the process of bhakti yoga. There are different types of yogas. Yoga means linking oneself with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, speculative yoga will not help us. You have to take concrete yoga. Concrete yoga is Krishna consciousness. So, we have given our introduction of the Bhagavad Gita that one has to understand Bhagavad-Gita, as it is directed in the Bhagavad-Gita. There is direction. How to read Bhagavad-Gita. People are reading Bhagavad-Gita without taking the direction. This we have explained in the manner that if you take some medicine, there is some direction on the bottle, that this is the dose. You take so many drops, so many times, that is direction. Similarly, for understanding Bhagavad Gita actually, you have to accept the direction as given by the author himself, Krishna. He says that long ago, some 40 millions of years ago, he first spoke this Bhagavad Gita to the sun god. And sun god transmitted the knowledge to his son Manu. And Manu transmitted the knowledge to his son Ikkaku. Imam vivassati yugam prattavan aham abhayam. Vivashan manave praha manu ikkaka vibravit. So, the Rajarsis, they are all kings. Manu is king, Maharaj Ikkhaku is also king, and the sun god Vivashan, he is also king. He is the king of the sun planet, and his grandson Ikkhaku became the king of this planet, Maharaj Ikkhaku. And in this dynasty, which is known as Raghuvansha, Lord Ramchandra appeared. It is a very old monarchical family, Ikkhaku Vansha, Raghuvansha. Vansha means family. So formally, the kings, the head of the administrative executive, they used to learn the thesis or the injunction given by God, because a king is...
Conclude? What happened with that?
No, you cannot do like that. Now I conclude here, that's all.
Actually, we should just change over. We can change those, we can pick up right there from...
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavaṁ Sri Rupam Saprajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tvam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanitanscha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur-bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna